Good morning, my dear students. So in this video, I'm going to explain you what is the main use of Excel and what are the different types of Excel in a vehicle. Okay. So before starting the different types of Excel, so let me understand what you mean by Excel. So an Excel is in a central shaft for a rotating wheel or gear. Okay. So normally in almost all the vehicle, from the engine, normal in the almost all the vehicle from the engine power can get to the near to the that is a differential component. From the differential component, on either side there will be shaft will be rotated, shaft is mounted in the shaft, then axle will be fixed. Okay, so from this axle it will transmit the power on either side of the wheel. That is the main function of this axle. Okay, so on I told here same I explained here. On wheeled vehicles the axle may be fixed to the wheels rotating the them or fixed to the vehicle within wheels rotating around the axle. Okay, now sometimes axles are fixed near to the wheel. Okay, or bearings or bushing are provided at the mounting points where the axle is supported. Okay, now we are sometimes bearings also used. Okay, and there are in a different vehicle there different types of axles are used. Okay, so sports car axle is different, normal cars axle is different. Okay, low heavy loaded axles are used different, and trucks they are using different. Okay, so here they are categorized into three types. First one is the rear axle, front axle, step axle. Okay, so rear axles are that is I mentioned here, full floating, semi floating, three quarter floating, etc. So many are there. Okay, a dead front axle means a dead front axle, line front axle. Okay, now these are the two different types of front axles. So these are the commonly used in almost all the vehicles. So step axle nothing but alloyed, reversed alloyed, and laminoid, reversed reversed laminoid. Okay, now these are the different types of axles which are used in the vehicle. So axle shape is shown in the diagram. Okay, now so that is about the axle shape. So first let me understand the rear axle. Okay, so forces on a rear axle. So rear axle means the main point it will force on the either side of the rear wheel. Okay, so here it is due to the weight of the body and driving the thrust, torque reaction, side thrust. Okay, so here the first one is the semi floated axle. So semi floated means it will both the side is same, that is either side of the wheel. Okay, so here semi floating axle means it is the axle that is the axle shaft both carries the weight and transmit the torque. Okay, so it will carries the weight and transmit the torque from engine to that is a gear transmission box to wheel. Okay, the wheel is often bolted directly to the flange on the axle, so it will tightly bolted. Okay, now with some help of a flange. Okay, and semi float axles are seen as on cars and light duty trucks. So these are used in only the low weighted that is a light weighted cars. Okay, not for the trucks and sports cars. Okay, semi floats are more limited in capacity but lighter and cheaper in the to the manufacturer. So these are the used in almost all the lighter vehicles because it is cheap and manufacturing also very cheap, less cost. Okay, so it's the shape is like this. Okay, now so right hand side 2D diagram where we are using the semi float axle is in the vehicles are shown in the direct with the vehicle picture. Okay, so this is about the shape of semi axle shaft, that is semi axle floating axle. Okay, second one is a full floating axle. So full floating axle is nothing but it is the weight of an axle is supported by the axle housing more specifically. Okay, now and bearing spindle attached to the axle housing and set of bearing in a separate wheel hub. Okay, now hub nothing but where axle is present, that is called as an axle hub. Okay, now so here it will by in this by using in this some bearing spindles also attached to the axle housing. Okay, so next the main function of is this axle is to transmit the torque by a separate axle shaft that carries no weight. Okay, so the main function of the main difference between that and here is here there is no weight but torque will transmit, so all axles are will transmit the torque only. Okay, as commonly built to full floaters are considerably heavier but also much stronger. Okay, now this is as compared to previous one, this is much stronger. Okay, now so I shown here full floating axle. So diagram is the right hand side from your from the notes, and where I am where exactly this full floating axles are used means I taken from the engine. This is the arrangement for the vehicle. So top is the lever spring is there, below that and this axle will be fixed. Okay, so this is about the second one, and this is almost used in little small higher vehicles. So and what are the main and advantage of using this rear axle is, so placing an engine near to the rear axle usually result is more weight on the rear axle than the front. So instead of fixing the front, if you fix this rear axle backside, it will stand the more weight capacity. Okay, and this causes an uneven weight distribution with the rear axle carrying about 65% of the weight. So an even uneven weight distribution, rear axle is carrying the about 65% of the weight. Okay, as a result, the all four wheels get even traction under the braking. So almost even if you fix this rear axle and back elements, it can stand the high weightage, and it will sustain, it will transmit the weighted among all the four wheels. Okay, so that is the main function of that is the main advantage of using rear wheel axle. Okay, so what are the disadvantage of this? There is a less interior space due to the more room needed for the transmission tunnel and drive shaft. So due to here there is a very less space is required, because in backside there is a small lot of mechanism will be present. Okay, there is a gearbox or axle, leaf spring, etc. Okay, there may be a less trunk room, since no equipment must be placed underneath the trunk. Okay, now the drive shaft which connect the front engine to the back axle add more weight. Okay, so here there is a lot of space is required. Okay, now for this but here, but due to there is a lot of components to be present, so hence it required a there is a less interior space. Okay, na backside. So that is main only the one disadvantage of this. Okay, and uses so the rear axle is used to carry the weight of the vehicle, as well as to facilitate the transfer the drive to the rear wheels. Okay, it will also withstand the weight, and it will also drive the rear wheels. Okay, it will transfer the power to the backside wheels. Okay, from the engine. Okay, now generally for rear axle drives, the power obtained from the differential is transmitted to the rear wheels through the rear axle half shaft. Okay, now what we are getting from the power from the engine through engine, rear axle will from the rear axle it will transmit the power from either side. Okay, now the engine is transmitted to the rear axle, from the rear axle either side of the vehicle it will transmit the power. So this is about the rear axle functions. Okay, now brief introduction about this. Just to remember that types of axle means it will withstand the weight. Okay, so and it will transmit the power on the all the four wheels. Okay, now that is the main function of axle. Just to remember this. Okay, now so axles are used almost all the vehicles. Okay, thank you.